meeting to order, June 15th, 2023, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now have a roll call.
Anthony Lobsonsky.
I'll have an everything bagel.
Kenneth Hall. Bonnie Almond.
Here.
Trevor Stone.
Here.
Ronald Glassick.
Here.
Judith Haldeman.
Present.
Ryleigh Tillotson.
Here.
Jason Donahue.
Here.
Julia Kutzler.
Here.
And Mayor Anthony Pristash.
Present.
Thank you. We have approval of the minutes of the public workshop meeting held on May 4th, 2023, and the regular public meeting held on May 18th, 2023. What is the opinion of the council?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Hall. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Almond. Question? No question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. We have now moving to hearing of persons present. Step forward, state your name and address for the record. Anyone want to speak? Step forward. Moving along, President's report. On my President's report, I want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Bropes for taking care of the makeshift hospital from 1958 at the community center. The EPA, DEP, PEMA, and the Borough has been involved in resolving and removing the stored items that are out of date. Hopefully, we will have a cleaned out basement and attic in the very near future, sooner not later. Also, thank you, Ryleigh, for being here. I didn't get to see you. I've been out for 2 weeks, two meetings, so thank you for serving.
Thank you.
It's been an honor knowing you.
Thank you so much.
End of my report, moving on to the mayor's report.
Thank you. Well, we were back from our PSAB meeting of 2023, the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs. That was held at the Hershey Lodge about a week and a half ago. I had some wonderful company with Councilwomen Almond and Haldeman, where we were treated to a great deal of vendor exposure throughout the 2 days of the vendors. We had some great sessions, which we brought back and hopefully can use on building the borough. Great speaker, our new best friend, Joe Feisman, and just a well-rounded, very powerful event through and through. To spend those days meeting with people from across the state, mayors, councilmen, councilwomen, borough managers, police chiefs. There was never a time when you didn't have the opportunity to learn something and bring some more information back. We had a great time socializing. These two women shut down more bars than Elliot Ness. So, well, it's true. I mean, seriously. But all in all, we had a great time. And just so you know, I did bring back some goodies for everyone. Okay. Now I have these in order, so hang on. All right. So if you didn't make it to the meeting, okay. So for one for Kenny. Trevor, Tony Senior, this one's for Ron, that one's for Jason, that one's for Leroy, that one's for Ryleigh, that one's for Judy,
Thank you.
and you. Wait, Leroy, hold on, I think you got them mixed up. Right, you gave Ryleigh yours.
What?
Now, you're okay.
Oh, is that mine?
Right, yeah, that's yours.
Do one for Kristen.
You gotta switch.
Unless you want the
Do
hot
one for
pink.
Yeah,
Kristen.
she should have one.
Okay.
Everybody here should have one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
There you go.
Thank
So
you.
Ryleigh doesn't have
Yeah,
one.
no, she should. There should be 10 of them.
There's one sitting.
There you go. There, yeah, there's 2 right here. Yeah, that one's Ryleigh's. Don't get them mixed up. Okay, you can open them.
And his report.
Thank Okay, no, wait. No, wait, you gotta open them up. Really, these came from the PSAB gift shop in Hershey, PA, okay? So, yeah.
Are we all opening these
You
together?
open, yeah, you open them
At the
together.
same time.
They're from the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs gift shop,
Professionally wrapped.
okay? And, you know, this was on my nickel, by the way. Had to pay extra for the wrapping, but that aside, so.
You didn't wrap
Must
it.
have been when you were at the bar, I don't know.
Somebody
Yeah,
wrap this with
you're
two
probably
hands.
closing down the bar then. All right, so on behalf of our attendees, so it's a little something we brought back for you. So, don't let it get said, they're PSAB pens, and from our government, our State Department of Economic Development, my new best friend there, who's the director, send these for the council. Now, we have one other special gift. If you didn't know, Trevor Stone's son just graduated from Notre Dame. And this young man is going to do phenomenal things with his career and his life, no doubt about it. I met him at his graduation party, and just a fantastic young man. Trevor took full credit for his acumen, his athleticism, and his brain power.
No, that's all
which-
my wife, actually.
But anyway, Trevor, if you didn't know, Mr. Joe Theismann was with us, and we were talking, trying to find these two at one of the bars. But Joe signed the Notre Dame shirt
Wow.
for your son and/or you.
Awesome.
So it says Joe Theismann, go Irish. Okay,
That's cool.
so
That's very nice.
Trevor,
Thank
for
you.
your son,
Yeah, this is for
there you go. And I don't know if this comes,
Yeah,
I don't know if this comes under mayor's report, but Ms. Ryleigh,
yeah.
you know how much we appreciate you here. I have for you a certificate of appreciation. It reads, presented to Ryleigh Tillotson, Junior Borough Council member, for your dedicated service to the Borough of Northampton and our citizens. Whereas, Mayor, along with Borough Council and the citizens of the Borough of Northampton, thank you for your time and contributions while serving as Junior Council member. Therefore, I, as Mayor, proclaim Friday, June 16th, tomorrow, as Ryleigh Tillotson Day in the Borough of Northampton. And wish you congratulations.
Okay, Sabina, go that way.
Picture, picture.
No, Tony can do it.
I think it's a totally separate issue.
The council president, or PSAB
No,
representative.
you are.
And,
I want you to do that.
That said, I want to thank Borough Council for allowing us to go to the PSAB meeting, and I only hope that more of you can join us in the future, because it is just a super professional, powerful event. There is no shortcuts taken. It is a top shelf event, and one last thing, I did keep my winning streak alive for raffles, 2 beautiful lilies, and a free attendance, ticket for attendance for next year's. So we got one in the house for next year's conference.
Well,
Okay,
that'd be
so
me then.
it's in Leroy's hands. Leroy has it right now, so
I'm president.
that's
I
all.
forgot where I put it.
I'll throw down that president card.
Okay, so there you go. So that's all I have. And again, thank you, council, for allowing us
Thank
to
you.
attend that. It was very powerful.
Okay, you want
And we have our PSAB member here. Come on up, sir.
Yeah, this is actually one of our agenda items, but I think it's appropriate that,
No.
Oh, my goodness.
No. If you want to add anything,
this one here?
if you want to add anything about the conference, feel free.
Oh, we just, yes, come to the conferences. Very informative. If you
Okay.
have any suggestions, email me. I'm very happy to
Got it.
accept
Thank you.
any suggestions.
let me introduce this.
Okay.
Okay.
I have here, you are Susan Drake, correct?
Stephanie Drake.
Stephanie Drake.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought it was Susan.
Yeah.
I'm
changed-
sorry.
She changed
No
it.
wonder you didn't get my email. I had written here that we anticipate a representative of Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs will be on hand to make a presentation of a Distinguished Service Award to Council Member Ryleigh Tillotson. Stephanie Drake.
Hi,
Thank you.
Involvement in local government from every generation is critical. The Junior Councilperson Program is a way to make that happen in the boroughs throughout PA, and the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs is committed to its success. I'd like to recognize and thank Northampton borough officials for their leadership and mentoring of these individuals. Through these efforts, students gain critical skills in advocacy, public engagement, decision-making, and team building. What's most important is that this program allows the student to have a voice in their communities. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I'm honored to present the Distinguished Junior Council Person Award to Ryleigh Tillotson. Thank you for your service to your community.
Thank you so much.
Pretty soon you'll be able to sell those.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Stephanie, you
Thank
staying for the meeting?
No, thank you.
Oh, no, I'm going to leave it. You guys.
Okay, well,
Thank
you
you.
can
Thank
take out
you.
for my
Thank
feet
you so
later,
much
but
for allowing me to come.
thank you.
No,
Thank you,
We're
thank
very
you.
happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
over, Stephanie.
Thank you for coming.
God bless.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We'll be moving on to the solicitor's report.
Nothing on the legal end. I was up for the Canal Festival this past weekend. Total success. I mean, there were tons of people who were out. It was a great time. Just wanted to say congratulations to everyone that was involved with that. We have reached out to the elections office to get an answer about what's going on with the ballot. We're just awaiting a response for that. Now the primary season is over. We expect a response shortly, so by next meeting we'll have a definite answer for everybody. So what's going on with that? And then otherwise, does anybody on council have any questions?
I do.
Yes.
What about the lease for the Alliance Fire Hall? Are you working on that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've spoken with the Alliance Fire Hall a couple weeks ago. We're largely in line with things. We know what's going on with that.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Anything
That's
else?
it.
Very good. Thank you.
We'll be moving on to reports from committees, starting with Administration and Finance. Mr. Hall.
Thank you. On June the 8th, 2023, as the Northampton Area School District Superintendent Joseph Kowalczyk and 43 members of this district staff toured the Atlas Cement Museum. Also during the month of June, the manager and staff of Heidelberg Materials, formerly S. Rock of Nazareth, toured the Atlas Cement Museum. Tours were guided by Sally Ann Madden, Edward Panning, and Larry O'Roy. The River Central Steering Committee, met, let's say, virtually on Tuesday, June 13th at 7 p.m. And anyone wishing to attend the PSAB legal update seminar will need to let Leroy know by Wednesday, June 21st. And the assistant to the borough manager, Brian Welsko, reported that 99 viewers have watched the live broadcast or recorded broadcast since the June 1st council meeting. And a report.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Building, Land, and Recreation, we look to Ms. Haldeman.
Thank you. On Wednesday, June 14th, Mr. Brooks will meet with the representatives of the, or he did, I apologize. He met with the representatives of EPA and DEP who will return to the community center storage areas. They wish to open some of the crates to determine actual contents. Operations at the swimming pool have been going well to date, and I'd like to add to that yes, I received some positive feedback from some individuals who are very pleased with some of the support staff that we have up there, and everything seems to be going well, so I add to that. Thank you very much. And this past weekend, the portable band trailer had to be at 3 different places on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There are times when our generous cooperation becomes a burden. End of report.
Thank you, ma'am. Code and Police, Mr. Stone.
Yes, thank you. We received the zoning officer report for the month of May. That reflects income of $33,421.50. We also received 2 reports from the code enforcement officer. The first one shows a 96% compliance rate for rental registration renewals. The second report lists the different concerns that were addressed by the code enforcement officer. Good. End of report.
Thank you. Fire and Police, Ms. Almond.
Thank you. Enclosed in your packets is the Health Officer's Report for May and the minutes of the Board of Health meeting held on May 30th, 2023. Mr. Brooks met with Barry France on Friday, June 2nd, and they discussed the Junior Firefighter Summer Workshop. Mr. France has a very enthusiastic approach, and Mr. Brooks is sure it will serve the program well. The Fire Department is going to be applying for a state certification as a participating department. Based on a level of training, it provides accreditation. And if I could ask for pardon of my ignorance, what participating department is this? What does that mean?
Oh, they would receive certification as a participating fire department. And depending on their level of training, it would provide accreditation, and that would greatly impact the cost of fire insurance throughout the borough.
Okay. Thank you for that. And if I may please read the police May report. They had 650 dispatches. That included 50 total traffic citations, 9 total non-traffic citations, 112 total parking tickets, and 5 total arrests. End of report.
Thank you. Public Works and Sewer, Mr. Glassick.
Thank you. Our parks are in desperate need of rain. Mr. Brooks can't remember the last time that the grass was this yellow in middle of June. Our first butterfly way station was completed just north of the gazebo on Canal Street. The garden was funded and donated by Reverend Jerry Mraz. The crews will be working on a much larger garden in the area across from the Hungarian Hall. The end of report.
Thank you, Mr. Glassick. Moving on to unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Under new business, consider the request of St. Peter's Church of Coplay.
We have received a request from St. Peter's Church of Coplay to use our portable band shell on Sunday, August 6th, with a waiver of the rental fee. They'll be required to provide a certificate of insurance naming the borough as additionally insured and pay a delivery and setup fee of $150.
Thank you. Consider hiring a
Wait,
full,
gotta vote
oh,
on it.
sorry. You have more there? Oh, sorry. I was just,
Welcome back.
you can't let me go for too long. Okay. What is the opinion of this council?
Make a motion to move forward with the request from St. Peter's.
Motion made by Mr. Glassick. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stone. Are there any questions?
Question.
Question?
This is going to be held in the borough of Coplay, correct?
Yes.
All right. I also think that it would be a very nice gesture to have the portable restrooms associated with the band trailer, and that way it makes a very nice looking product.
This request was brought in by Julianne Edelman. I could check with her and see if she'd be interested, but as of right now, I don't believe they are.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Consider hiring a full-time police officer.
We have received a request from Police Chief Brian Cadingo to hire Evan Medlar as a full-time officer effective Monday, July 3rd, 2023. He was the number 2 candidate on the civil service listing and currently serves as a part-time officer. This would eliminate the need for a great deal of training because he already is serving in a capacity that is sufficient.
What is the opinion of the council?
I make a motion to hire Eric.
Evan.
Evan, I'm sorry.
Motion made by Ms. Almond. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Haldeman. Are there
Third.
any questions? No questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Welcome aboard, Evan.
What does this take our total to?
Come in and
Seven.
see us.
Total?
Oh, you might not have to, we already have you on.
17?
Thank you. Do we need to swear him in?
Congratulations.
By July 3rd.
By July 3rd, okay.
He's been sworn in already.
Okay, right. But that was part-time.
We're seeing if that was just an overall.
Okay, thank you. Presentation of fishing contest scholarship.
The Northampton Area School District Guidance Office has provided the names of 2 students who are hoping to further their education and create a career in criminal justice. They are Courtney Dorsey and Kira Sanders. They have been named the recipients of 2 scholarships with the funding provided by the police fishing contest. Police Chief Brian Cadingo has volunteered to make the presentations. I know Courtney Dorsey is off, she's already at school in an orientation. Send her, our brother Joshua here to accept on her behalf. Is Kira Sanders with us? If not, I'll see that the presentation is made to her. Chief?
Good to meet you, Josh.
Where's she going to school? Where's she going to school? Good for her. Send her our congratulations.
Very well said.
Okay, moving on, since we have taken care of item number 4. Reports from council members, starting with Mr. Hall.
Thank you. I'm gonna say congratulations to Evan, I'll call him Evan instead of Eric, but congratulations to Evan.
That's his secret
Welcome
identity.
aboard.
Susan,
Um,
Stephanie, Eric, Evan. I mean, there's so
Bars, it's
Hi,
all,
Bonnie.
we're just,
We
we're
call you
a
Bonnie.
hot mess tonight.
Also, I'd like to add to the solicitor's report that the paw prints on the canal was like a huge success. When we had vendors, I had vendors I didn't know where. We had them looped around in a different way that we got them in, and they were still lined up past almost the 16th, past 16th, almost up to 17th Street, just to get in.
Wow.
It's like quarter to 11, and the vendors are still coming in. So then the people started coming. So the vendors themselves sprawled out through the park up past 17th, like in the middle of the 1800 block. So it was well. I got the chance to walk through a little bit. Whatever. My wife was there and daughter were there with the dogs. So they all had a good time as well. But all kinds of dog shape, sizes, and you can imagine our cones got blessed, so we have to take them out and sort of, dogs are dogs. So other than that, that's all I got to add. It was just a real good weather, cooperated, everything went well. And the report.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Mr. Stone?
Yes, thank you. Congratulations to Officer Evan Medler. It's good to have another full-time police officer. I was disappointed that I missed the paw prints on the canal. I usually attend it every year, so I'm a little unfortunate I missed that. I did have a chance to volunteer as for the Queenship of Mary that day, which was fun to do. Congratulations again to Ryleigh. Much future success to you. Again, really looking forward to all the great things that you're going to do. Thankful for all the rain we received, and who knew that Mr. Brooks, all he had to do was speak it into existence. And here we are. So, I think, thank you again, Mayor, for this. If you know anyone who does all things framed, I'm looking, if you know anyone, I might be interested in getting this framed.
I wanted to point out that her award from him was not framed,
Good,
and he owns a frame shop.
good point.
This wasn't framed enough.
Coins.
I wasn't gonna be the first one to say something, but I will follow
I
up
did
on
forget to
Councilman.
mention, I did forget to mention
Will not be
that,
the last.
Does he have a coupon on it for a discount or anything?
I had,
Right.
A little,
50%
a little
coupon would've
discount
been-
You'll pay
coupon,
for
yeah.
that.
Anyway,
know.
if you know anyone, I might be looking for someone to get this framed. So thank you so much, Mayor.
You're welcome.
End of report.
So much.
I'm sorry about that.
How can you follow that?
My turn?
Yes, your turn, Ms. Holland.
Well, I'd like, we lost half our audience, but I can't speak for Ms. Almond over there, but I have to take a little bit of exception with the mayor's report that I was not drinking or closing down any bars at the end of the evening. But you have already got the seed planted, so yes, shame on you for not putting a discount ticket on everybody's frame.
It's waiting there for
Yeah,
you.
I just wanted to repeat that I was so happy to hear a positive feedback about the pool. I'm anxious. I go by, I've seen faces and people happy, and it looks good, and I'm hoping we continue to get very positive reports. I haven't been there yet. It's not warm enough for me. But other than that, I also wanted to comment that I've been in touch with Keith Noblock, and I know he is addressing some of the concerns about the grass, but in our chatting, I noted that some places throughout town, obviously I look a lot more in the first ward where I reside, and I notice a lot of weeds like on the curbs and the sidewalks, and we kind of chatted about people may not understand that some of the responsibility goes pretty much right up to the curb, that they take care of their grass, but the sidewalks had some pretty nice size weeds, and so I was just kind of hoping to note that is the responsibility of the homeowner also. Other than that, I congratulations, Ryleigh. There's cupcakes there for everybody to share. Mayor Tony asked for them, so the flavor is his picking too, but I did bake them, so
Thank you.
enjoy, and that is the end for me too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we move on to Ms. Almond.
I just want to thank the Borough and Council for allowing me to attend the PSABs. I did notice this year there weren't as many items of topics to attend as last year, but the ones that I did were very interesting and informative. We did have a good time. We did attend some bars, but we didn't close them down, to be honest. The highlight of my PSAB, though, was meeting and get my picture taken with Joe Theismann. He was an exceptional motivational speaker, and he was actually comical at some times. So thank you again, and congratulations to Evan. Please extend those from me. And Ryleigh, best of wishes to you.
Thank you so much.
End of report.
Mr. Donahue.
I'll start off with congratulating Ryleigh. Good luck in the future. Congratulations to Evan becoming full-time. Got a question for Leroy. We got a little bit of poison ivy down on the canal path. Is there anything we can do about that?
Sure, let me know exactly where it is, I'll send a herbicide man down there to take care of it.
Okay, I will go down to Market Reef and then, so
Okay.
that's not a
Yeah,
problem.
just let me know.
Okay, I know we got also complaints about garbage on Vienna Street from last Friday. That was not Republic Services' fault for once. There was a moving truck at 8 o'clock in the morning on Vienna Street, and they did not move it till about 11, so for once it was not Republic Services. Yeah. But on the bad news of Republic Services, can we send them a little note when the recycling, when they drop the bottles in the street, can we pick them up instead of kick them under my parked cars?
We have an ongoing correspondence with them, believe
Okay.
me, we're working on it, and so are they.
The other thing is, the question I have is, the underpass there on Laubach. Whose is that? Is that Norfolk Southern?
It services their rail line, and
Yeah.
who owns it, I
Yeah.
don't believe the borough does. We painted it in the past, we patched it up,
I've seen that, cause I was just
we-
wondering, cause there's a huge crack in it right now
Yeah.
on the south side, where the sidewalk is, just concerned since there's a lot of weight that goes over that thing. And as soon as you come around, that turn on Newport, I think Norfolk Southern owns that property, if we can address their weeds, they're about 3 feet high on the sidewalk.
I'll talk to the code officer, we'll get a picture of that and see if we can send it to Norfolk Southern, perhaps they can, address it.
Okay,
In the
thank you.
meantime, we'll tell them to come by and cut their weeds down too.
Yeah, okay, that's the end of my report, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Glassick.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Mayor, for the pen. Shame on you for not framing that, so I'll make sure that was noted
Nothing
again.
I can say to take my shame away. There is a frame
But
waiting
thank
for
you for
on
the
it.
pens and the gesture. I think that was very nice.
Thank you.
Ryleigh, again, we can't stop saying what an outstanding presence you have made, and God bless the person that's gonna try to fill your shoes. So hopefully we still found somebody and we're looking for that. We did?
Yes.
Good. That'll be a good challenge for them. Congratulations to Evan for the new officer. That takes us to 17, they said. And thank you, Ms. Kutzler, for bringing up about the alliance. That was on my note about moving forward, and the solicitor, you said we're working on that.
We are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I talked with, and I see, we have a representative from the Alliance here.
So that's fantastic.
In a satellite fashion. Yeah, but I spoke with them a couple weeks ago. Timelines were established. I think we're at a good place with it. My office is in a good place with preparing all the documents.
Okay. We did speak about the summer fire camp program for those that are here, or also if you want to stop in the borough office, they're actually out in the vestibule to promote that. I think that is an outstanding gesture by our fire department to have this junior fire camp, and the flyers are out front, so if we can see them, or we can maybe put them on the website, it'd be nice.
It's already there,
It's already there, thank you. When was it placed?
over a week ago.
Is it under their categories?
It's on the main page.
Thank you very much. Again, Evan, there was 22 of the 38 concerns were weeds. And again, it is something that we need to look at our borough. We need to look at our properties, and we need to make sure that the code enforcers get out there. And I'm not saying we do write the citations, but we need to make this look better and start with our businesses. Because I just came by both the new apartment complex that's getting built where the VFW was. There's weeds there that I don't know if they're a plant or if they're gonna have a flower on soon, but they're pretty large. But including Domino's, Turkey Hill, it's not just the residents, but it's our businesses also. They need to be out front and look at that kind of weed, and even around the bus spots where they have the bus shelters for people. So please make sure that we get out there and adjust that. What is the status of the paving projects and the stuff that we had, Leroy?
We are in the we were going to start on our first alley. Matter of fact, we may start on that the last week of this month. We have about a half a dozen that need to be pretty much redone from bottom to top.
Any update on the 10th Street washboard?
Only that Greg has been hounding them.
It has improved
Continually.
it has improved. I appreciate Greg's focus on that, where it's literally they're tapping it down more instead of just leaving basically raw tar lay on top of like a pile. So I did notice that. Thank you for Greg for doing that. End of my report.
Well, thank you, Mr. Glassick. Mr. Lipsonsky.
Yes, I'm here. All right. Starting off, we'll start with the Canal Street situation there with the paw prints on the canal. Very successful. Many people were there. I believe at least 6,000 to 8,000 people were throughout the day down on the canal. It was very hot down there. There were a lot of dogs that were there, then different breeds and different kinds. A lot of the, not only the pet providers, but the vendors had water bowls for the dogs to go. And one place even had an ice bucket, a trough, where the dogs could crawl in and lay down. And I watched one dog really having a good time, laying in the ice, cooling off. So it was very successful. It went at least halfway up the 1800 block of Canal Street, and that's kind of like a hike. So the total overall length, I'm going to estimate probably around a half of a mile in length, the distance that our situation covered. It is good, it is also bad. Sometimes what happens when it gets so good, you get more people coming in, and then you have people that are there participating saying, I'm tired, they won't need me next year, so it'll start dropping down. So I think that's a situation I believe that the coordinators of the paw prints on the canal are aware of. At least I know I've made them aware of that. And they're doing a good job. I believe they had over 230 vendors that day, and they had a beautiful day. There were a lot of people walking, a lot of dogs. I'm not aware of any incidents where dogs got out of control. Did that ever come back to you, Chief, at all? Nothing. So it was well done, well behaved. The situation on Canal Street Park at the baseball field, I am going to cast a little bit of a stone in the water. It seems very simple too. It seems very casual to say, we'll just eliminate the permit for them to play baseball down there. Wait 1 second. You have borough businesses that sponsor baseball teams that come to our park to play on our fields. They are making money for not only the borough, but for their different sponsors. The situation exists that the homes on Canal Street there were, and I've said this for many, many years, the homes were built in the middle of center field. You know what I mean? It's the same thing like if a person goes and buys a property and looks down over the edge of their property, which is an elevation of about 70 feet, and they see, oh, railroad tracks going through. They see railroad cars on those tracks. Then they see industrial machines running around. They have businesses that are in there, and they're perplexed, and they're insulted because that makes their home smell. You have to look at what you're getting before you get it, because once you get it, ain't the time to change it. But apparently that philosophy is taking root in this country. It's back assward. If you don't like it, then don't go there. I believe the number of people getting back to Canal Street is a small number of people affected by, and I have to agree, some of the bull boys like to crank them up. I believe they use pumped up bats, and they use also pumped up balls. It looks fine, it looks great, but you can cause damage and has caused damage to cars, vehicles, shrubbery, and other things down there. It's not the person's fault that bought the home in the middle of center field, but understand, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. It's the same thing if you live by a football field and you don't like the noise. Wire it there. You can move. So the situation has to be taken on both sides. Some here, some there, some here, some there. I would like to make a motion that the borough looks into purchasing or finding donated telephone poles about 70 feet high, at least 3 to 4. Put them along Canal Street by the ball field where the fence is, and then get the golf net that you see at golf courses where the driving ranges are, and hang that there. Now, if Gorilla Monsoon wants to crank one over 70 feet, have at it. But I don't think we should be punishing the people who are involved in the team, because each team has anywhere from 22 to 26 members. They also bring their families with them. So if we multiply that number by 6, and there are at least 14 teams, I don't think it's so cavalier just to say we're going to pull a permit. You're punishing a lot of people. They enjoy it. It's a park. It's supposed to be used. Let's make the conditions better for the park to be utilized. And I don't think it would be a big problem to put up a 70-foot net covering that distance along left field where the high fence is right now that doesn't meet the requirements that we have, because the guys are hitting them over there. I think not only will it give a little more comfort to the people who own the property, who pay taxes along Canal Street, but also you have to remember too, these businesses that are in town that sponsor these teams, the beer distributor, a lot of teams go up there. They get their things, ice, they get their drinks. Other places have restaurants. They go after the games. So their families and them go to our town to participate and use the restaurants and whatever else facilities that we have around that's open at that time for them while they're there. So I would like to make a motion to look into getting 3 to 4 70-foot PP&L telephone poles or power line poles or anybody's kind of poles, and then installing the driving range netting to keep the balls from going onto the street.
Thank you, Mr. Lipsomsky. What is the opinion of the council?
There would have to be a second.
Huh?
There would have to be a second.
Oh, okay. Is there a second to that motion? Sorry. I was gonna start from scratch. Is there a second for the motion? Calling for a second? No second, then we move on.
Can we have questions?
Not with the first on the floor. There would have to be a second, and then that was when it would go into discussion. And just to be clear, a first and a second are not endorsements of it. It does just bring the motion to the floor for further discussion, and then there would be the ultimate vote after discussion.
I want to support it, but I just want to, so if it moves it forward but not voted yet.
Yep.
Is that correct? I'll make a second with the next being questions that I would like to say. I don't agree that we just go out and purchase poles and put netting up. I'd like to get a price of that and see where we're at with it. I do agree with what you're saying to make the parks viable, but I also think we have a responsibility of protecting the people that are in that area just by simply saying they can use a lesser ball. I think we talked about the last meeting, things like that. We're not punishing them if they use the right tool. Equipment, I guess. But to just go out and purchase 3 telephone poles or put them in and, I'd like to see what a price is on that and a netting before we just say voting on that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not against you. I agree with what you're saying about the park, but is that something I could?
Well, as I understand it, the first motion that was made by Councilman Lipsomsky was for the borough to explore this and to get those pricing options.
I thought it was to put
poles
in.
As I understood it, was for the borough to explore this. So if the motion was to go through as is, and if council was to vote, and if council was to approve this, then that would be basically authorization to Leroy and his staff in office to look into this. No purchases could be made. Purchases could be made if it was under certain price points, but realistically, this would be something that would probably come back to council too. But this isn't authorization to just go out and buy. This is authorization to go out and explore.
And I second it, definitely.
Okay, second by Mr. Glassick.
I have a question. So we're big on having them follow rules, and I understand, and I don't think last month, meeting's discussion had anything to do with pulling permits. They're only pulling permits if they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. So if we're either gonna stand fast and have people follow the rules, or we're just gonna let them bend the rules and say, we're gonna put a structure up so you can do what you want. And I think that's what the point was. It had nothing to do with abide by the rules or we pull the permit. I had nothing to do, I agree with the businesses and everything else, and I know that's all wholeheartedly, but you also gotta abide by the rules, and then we gotta decide, are we gonna follow rules or are we not gonna follow rules? That's, I think, what the point was. If they aren't following by the rules, then we pull the permit. I'm not saying we should just not let them play there. I think it'd be a big expenditure, and standing those poles up or something, I don't think the borough's
And an eyesore.
probably, and an eyesore.
It's
The
an
next thing,
eyesore for everybody
they'll be
else.
across the street and they're gonna say, what did you put this, in the same breath, they don't want them there, they don't wanna get hit, the balls to get hit on their side, and the next thing they'll say, well, why did you put this in front of my house, you know. So it's a double-edged sword,
No, absolutely.
Understand?
and that's all we got.
Good point, Mr. Hall.
Question too, so we actually talked about that. We talked about reviewing it, addressing it with the people that have a permit and potentially pulling that permit. Can I ask at this point, have we actually done that?
Yeah, Greg was down there.
Okay.
He went down on, they have the permit on Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Okay,
Now, I don't know if there's been any reoccurrence of this
Since
since
that
he
time.
went down and talked with him. It may have struck a chord.
so is there anything we can do on almost a monitoring basis?
Well,
almost like a sup-
I can get the person who signed the permit into the office and then get the rec committee together and lay it on the line to them.
Because again, I agree. Certainly safety and people's homes should not be in jeopardy at any time. I agree with that also. You know, I can't speak to telephone poles, but I agree with, they have a permit, they are supposed to follow the rules. If they're not following the rules, the permit's gone, so.
For decades, that field was used by the fast pitch league.
Okay,
And usually the balls go out in relationship to the speed that they come in.
right,
Now they're lobbing the balls in, so to hit them that far, they must have something
right.
that makes them go that far.
Well, I believe Mr. Donahue and now Mr. Lapsonsky's confirming that the thought is they're using some of these newer types of
Loaded pads,
equipment, okay? And so, that's fine. I believe I'm in charge of the Recreation Committee, but I believe Mr. Glassick and maybe Mr. Hall, but why don't we convene that? If that's what we need to do to address this, let's do it. You wanna?
I'll set it up.
Awesome. We'll talk after yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine, perfect. Hopefully, Mr. Lapsonsky, that might alleviate some of the problem.
At least there's movement.
Sure.
Thank you. May I continue on?
But
Well, we
there's,
have
we should, we have an active
Oh,
motion
sorry.
and discussion
Oh,
on the floor.
that's
Yeah.
why I was,
Okay, we have any more questions? All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed?
I think I'm not sure what I'm actually supposed to be voting on now, other than just
For them to
reviewing,
move,
we're just
for
what we're
Leroy
doing.
to move
So,
forward.
You wanna move forward with the
But
polls
you
and the
wanna
net,
explore
I
the
just wanna
Well,
move
to
forward.
explore the
Exploratory
cost of buying
costs and-
4 poles and getting them erected and buying netting and getting it erected.
Okay,
Okay, then I'm gonna vote no, because I'd prefer to go through the process
Then we
of
should
going through the rec centers.
Then we should probably
Please
do
do
it
a
as a roll
no,
call.
I apologize.
okay, let's do a roll call.
Let's get the motion worded, so we know.
As I understand it, and Mr. Lapsonsky, correct me if I'm wrong here, the motion that's active on the floor that the roll call vote's gonna be taken is, it is a motion to have the borough explore the option of purchasing these, telephone poles, to have them installed and to have the netting installed as well, as a preventative feature on the baseball field to stop the baseballs from leaving the baseball field. That's what I understood it as. And would that be correct as well?
Correct.
So it's an it's an exploration as opposed to actual purchasing or anything like that.
Okay, so then we would have to vote on it before we buy anything.
Well, depending on the price point and all of that. But when you start talking about installation, from dealing with these things in other areas, telephone poles, even though they're hunks of wood, they are very expensive. And then there's the installation, the cement involved with that, so it is something that most likely would come back to council.
Okay, I think it needs to come back to council for the, but at least look at, okay. Roll call.
Okay, if you are in favor of the motion, vote yes. If you are opposed, vote no. Anthony Obasonsky.
Yes.
Kenneth Hall.
If it's just exploring, I'm still gonna say no.
You said no?
Yes.
Bonnie Almond.
No, I like the other option with reviewing the rules first.
Trevor Stone.
No.
Ronald Glassick.
Yes, just for pricing.
Judith Alderman.
No.
Jason Donahue.
Yes, just for pricing.
Julia Kutzler.
Yes for pricing.
1, 2, 3. We have 4 yeses. 1, 2, 3, 4 noes. The mayor will have to break the tie.
Dog, I hate when that happens.
Listening to everything, I feel that we have other means to go before we do this pricing. People are busy enough with Borough Hall right now. Let's wait to see what happens with Greg and his conversations before we need to step this any further. We don't need to take any further borough personnel resources to do this when Greg's visit down there might have alleviated the situation already. So I'm going to vote no.
The motion is defeated.
Thank you. Okay,
Can
Tom.
I make a motion, sorry, I don't know, that we follow through with what Leroy's saying and get either a committee or get these teams called in and do the survey?
You could. That would be something, though, that I would say would fall more on the administrative end. And if you want to, and if it gets seconded, it would proceed forward. But there's nothing that would say that you absolutely can't.
Well, it doesn't preclude anyone here from doing the research yourself
Right.
and taking it to Borough.
Does the permit say that you have to use regulation falls and that's,
No.
maybe it should.
Maybe.
Maybe that
yeah.
should be part of the permit.
We'll have to we'll have to.
Takes care of your problem.
My understanding is that, my understanding is that they're using the lighter balls because in the co-ed leagues, the women can hit the harder balls at the infield. That's what I got from the
They're
two
playing
players.
the game,
No, they're equal.
but they're playing the
But
game.
that's why they use the
why
lighter-
you use
that's why they use the
regulation
lighter
balls. They're
balls.
equal. Exactly.
Because the women have trouble hitting the ball, the more solid ball farther, so they use the cork ball.
But they like to
Because
see
they
them,
can,
but they like to crank them out of the field.
the guys do
Alright,
this,
so, it's not just for the women.
not at all.
Alright.
So do I have to withdraw my motion?
No, I didn't take it as you actually making the motion. I took that as a question about making a motion.
Again, anybody can just
Thank you.
do the research, find out what the money costs. and-
Without a motion, can't Recreation get together with their committee and
Oh,
do
yeah,
this?
that's just a
We
normal
don't need a
committee meeting.
motion for the Recreation Committee to meet.
I assure you, Mr. Hall, we will have a meeting to talk about it. I do have another question, if I may, not to prolong this agony, but my concern is, can we, and perhaps this is not a proper time, but can we talk about the language in that contract in the middle of to put that language in there? Because that seems to be one of the biggest issues here, is they're using,
If I were to come in here and sign an agreement,
yeah.
and it didn't say anything about it, and then
Now I
I
wanna
said,
do
well, we have a new agreement here, we're changing
Okay.
some of the language.
I figured that,
I think just a sit-down conversation with these
Right.
people should be
but,
sufficient.
okay, well, we're gonna start with that, and then I guess we'll have to come back and
We have 13-year-old
review.
girls that can hit it out of the infield,
Okay, well,
so I don't buy it.
let's have the
That's,
conversation.
that's just what I heard.
I'll set it up.
Perfect,
Thank you.
thank you.
Wow. I'm glad I don't play
Cupcakes.
baseball.
May I continue now?
No,
Oh, okay.
go ahead.
Quick.
Me, quick?
Yeah.
I've noticed on the canal, going to work this, and last several days, that the arm tracker is out pruning back the branches on the trees along the path. It gives a more aesthetic view, but I would like the operators to be directed where the benches are. From the benches, go 25 feet to the north, 25 feet to the south, which opens up a 50-foot view of our waterway, our river. What's that? What are you sitting in a bench to watch leaves grow? Cut the branches down so you can see the river. At least it looks a little bit better. That's my thing. If they can, just kind of. Also, on Canal Street and 10th, at the bridge where the warehouse is, right before the bridge, that little corner section, there are wonderful sumac bushes that are there that obstruct the vision of traffic coming both across the bridge and to the bridge from 10th Street. So if maybe they could go down and trim that back, cut them down so you can see, because it does create a heck of a whoa when you're coming around that corner and a car's in the middle of the road and you don't see you because the bushes are there. So if we can have them trimmed down, I know they did it before, and all I'm asking for is to do it again. It's for safety. Thank you, Ryleigh. You did a hell of a job. I knew, because we have spoken before, it was different when you started. But now, it's different when you're done. You have a little bit more concrete in your shoes. You have a little bit more force in what you are going to say. You know how to say it, and you know what needs to be said, and you can construct that. And I hope some of this that you have learned came from this dais, because I know I can't teach people anything. So from the other people that are here, if you pick their points up, you're gonna do damn good. And it doesn't matter what you're gonna do in life, you will be successful, period. The only one that's gonna stop you is you. So believe in yourself, believe in your core, know what you know, and do how you know to do what needs to be done, because you've watched it and you've participated in it. And it does me good, because I enjoy young people who have educated themselves in the way of the future, which you are doing. Because you're looking potentially, you could be, a council member, or you could be an attorney, you could be some kind of company president, which all can stem from this. It's very simple. Don't let anything stop you. And all you have to do is, if they tell you you can't do it, just say, really? 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 And walk away. All right? So congratulations. I thank and I appreciate you being here. I hope this experience was what you expected it to be. I hope that maybe the experience forms something that you never expected, but very, very happy to see the gift that was given to you. I hope your replacement is as good as you. If they're not, we're gonna call you. All right, so congratulations, good luck in your future, and enjoy your life. Lastly.
Oh, really?
Really? Really?
Come on.
Happy Father's Day to everyone.
Oh, that part.
Yep. It's not heard very much today because our society, how shall I phrase it, say I did it because I'm saying it. Our society is going to hell. People are going nuts. They have no common sense. But in spite of all that negativeness, happy Father's Day. I yield back the balance of my time to the chair.
I had a lot to say.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I forgot. Thank you. We would go right to
That's why
announcements.
you have to have one of these.
Okay,
Announcements, please.
just a couple of things. The meeting that was spoke of with the EPA and DEP up at the community center revealed exactly what I thought it would reveal. There are no issues up there. We have a clean bill of health. I'm waiting for the report from the EPA representative. And once that's accomplished, I'll be getting in touch with my buddy Jonathan at Pima, and we will arrange for the Pennsylvania Historical Society come here and take whatever it is that they want and make a museum of it out in Harrisburg, and we'll be happy to be rid of it.
Thank you.
On the council meeting scheduled for July 20th, there will be a public hearing to begin that. Members of the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission will be here to present the River Central Comprehensive Plan, and it will be scheduled at that time for either adoption or to not be adopted. Next week on Wednesday, the representative of the Pennsylvania's Auditor General's office will be here to complete the liquid fuels audit. Finally, no, not finally. I sent everyone an email today announcing the Lehigh Valley Government Academy. They're having a municipal officials thank you picnic at Wayne Grove Park on Wednesday, June 28th from 11 to 1 p.m. Registration is free, and there is a link there that you have to register to let them know they're coming. You're coming. Congratulations to Evan Medlar. Welcome to the Borough family. If he was here, I'd wave to him. And last but not least, when I was a senior in high school, I would have really enjoyed the opportunity to do what you did. To be here, hanging out with this eclectic group.
Very kind.
And taking part in the workings of government. It's like Tony said, wherever you go, take these memories with you. Some might be funny, some might be sad, but all of them will play a part in who you will become. Thank you very much.
Well said.
That's all I have.
Leroy, give her
What?
her card.
Oh, yes. And this is from Borough Council.
Oh, thank you.
Madam President.
Sure.
If you want.
If you want to.
Yes, if you.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Ryleigh was to open her.
I also have something to say.
You have something
that's
to
right.
say.
Oh.
Wow, how soon you pushed her out. Who'd have Wow, you pushed her out already.
Frame thing, boy. Frame boy.
It's waiting down
Tell
there.
him,
She has to
tell
come
him,
down and
Judy.
get it.
Go ahead, Ryleigh.
Okay. I just wanted to have a little goodbye to what these past years serving on this council has been. I want to thank everybody who serves on this council, not only for the experience I've received just watching and being here, but the effort you put into our community and the time you take outside of your personal lives to really make Northampton a better place. What this has done for me is in my community, our community, the school community, has made me more aware of what's going on and how to fix problems. And I hope to carry that into my future communities. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see how it goes with whoever fills my position. I'm super excited that it's continuing, and I believe it's a really great experience for anyone to have. And it just puts stuff in perspective that you don't really even think about at my age until I came here and started to learn about it. I feel like going into the future, I'll have a step ahead, just little things of knowledge that most people wouldn't know unless you've been here. And this serving as on this town council has allowed me to appreciate my community more and appreciate growing up in Northampton. I am really grateful for what this town has provided me, not just the community, the school, endless opportunities that have gotten me where I am today. And I'm super excited to, I think most people know, but that I will be going to Georgia Tech in the fall and cheerleading there, and I hope to bring a small piece of our community down there and hopefully bring our positive spirit wherever I go. So that's all I have for today, and I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ryleigh.
Let's see.
We need a motion by council member to pay the bills. Pardon?
Oh,
Wait,
I was just admiring Sheila.
oh, let's start over.
Could we possibly pay all the bills that are appropriately found on the ledger and filed and have them taken care of?
Have a motion to pay the bills. Have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Allen. Questions?
Yes, please.
Go
Just
ahead,
remember,
Mr. President.
cupcakes aren't
Get
getting
my
any,
sheet, wait.
cupcakes aren't getting any fresher. Just remember
Go
that.
ahead.
I think the bills are an important factor that we look over them.
Yes.
First page, Leroy, and I first of all, I wanna start by thanking Steve Urban and Scott Gillespie for the detail about what a fog rod is and what you use that for, because I know the bill is $8,000 for a fog rod.
Is that the
And
word of the
again,
week?
That might not be the word of the week, but it tells us what's in our sewer system
Tell us,
again.
what is it?
I have pictures of it and everything, so they took the time to educate me on this, and I like that fact that they did that, and they even had their staff meeting, so I do wanna make sure it's publicly noted that Steve Urban and Scott Gillespie put this together to share with me what a fog rod is.
I
Very
knew that
good.
you were going to ask.
Thank you. So, if anything, we are moving forward. Under the first page, Commonwealth NPDES permit for
That-
$37.50.
Without that, we couldn't operate the sewer plant.
Okay.
We pay one of those every year.
So it's with
I
the
only
sewer plant.
budgeted $2,500, but the state, when they feel like they need a raise, they just take it.
Okay. Gilmore and Associates, I see their bill for what inspection that they had that costed us $19,000 from Gilmore and Associates.
That was the 21st Street pump station. We are working on renovating that, and that was their engineering study on it.
Did we ever ask them about coming to Borough Council and giving us an update and stuff on things?
If you would like, I can invite them.
They'll probably charge us, right?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
$135
We
an
can
hour.
do a video conference call so they don't have to get paid mileage. But I'd like to speak to them about some of these costs that we are, and just to hold them a little bit accountable, because we have a major sewer sewer renovation coming up, and if they're charging us $19,000 for one pump house to be renovated,
No, that's for other things too.
well, it just says.
The pump station at 21st Street was 9903, Stewart Street was 4349, Grant Administration, that was work on
Okay.
the MS4 grant, the fog rod, they had to, and then the wastewater treatment upgrade, that's still part of the 537 plan.
Okay, well, it's good to know that it wasn't just for one pump
No,
station.
no,
then.
no,
Good.
I'd have blew a tire on that one.
Yeah. So again, the fog rod was 7,200, but I guess it was a needed equipment to do testing, so that was good. I think there's only one more, no, two more. My normal report about sludge, but because the sludge is only 14,000 this month, it was because the water level was so low, and that's why. Now that we have rain, our next bill will probably be a little bit higher. But there's a thing for Yoast hauling. I know it's only $60, but what can our garbage and trash take? that
We
gotta
had
do?
scrap metal that we had to dispose of, we took it to them.
Okay. Alrighty, end of my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Can I have a motion by council member to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Paul,
Oh, we did first and second.
I have a first and second. That was so fast you couldn't even hear it.
I was ready to go.
Any questions? No questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Riley, I'd like to get a couple pictures here.